What's up, my friends? John Baruti here. This week we're talking about gratitude. I'm pretty grateful. Stay tuned. So this week, this one's a little out of left field, right? I'm not normally the motivational rah-rah guy. And I don't know if this is actually motivational or rah-rah. But I am super grateful for many things in my life. And I wanted to talk about it. So I turned the camera on, right? So basically my whole life, from when I was born, I've been grateful. And you're like, what are you talking about, John? Well, I'll tell you. So when I was born, they had to rush me from the delivery room to the operating room. This is 1969. And as you can imagine, things weren't so great back then. But they were able to fix my problem, which was pretty drastic. Let's call it an internal plumbing issue that I had, which if they didn't fix, I would probably not be here. So to have the capacity in 1969 to fix me in such a way that I could have somewhat of a normal life and still be on this earth. Listen, as a kid, I was a kid, right? So I'm like, I'm here, whatever. But, as I got older, I realized, and, from the stories from my mom and my aunt and how close I was to not being here, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty grateful for being here. And to be honest with you, I'm one of those cats that have at least 9 lives because, there's been many times over the course of my life that I've had the ability to be grateful for still being here, including, and I'll get into it. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I had the cancer thing, and that sucked. And another reason I shouldn't have been here, and another reason I'm grateful. But we'll get into that. So again, from when I was a kid to now, always being, and I'm not the guy that constantly talks, I'm so grateful for being here. I'm just not that guy. But internally, I've always been, I'm pretty lucky. At all these things, I'm just lucky. I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be able to do what I do. Another example is, my dad came from Italy, came from Europe. So we were fortunate enough as a family to be able to travel all over the world. My dad took us back to Europe, took us to Italy, Germany, Switzerland, France. And that sounds pretentious, but it was. And we weren't rich. We were just an average family. And my dad made sure that we would go back and see his home country and see other places other than the United States. And I am, and I always have been, and I always will be grateful for being able to see other parts of the world. Because, we always say how great, or I always say how great this country is. Some people don't. But you don't realize how great this country is until you've traveled other places. And these other places that I've traveled, people say, I would much rather to live there. And listen, they're beautiful places. Germany, Italy, Switzerland, France, sure. But I come back to the United States every time. And I'm grateful for being able to be in the United States. I'm also grateful, and this sounds a little weird. My dad was 49. In 1993 is when he passed away. I was 23, I think, 23. So that would make my sister 26. So my dad passed away pretty young. And my dad was much my mentor, even though I didn't let him know that because we fought all the time about business. But this is a man that I knew from when I was little. He came over, could barely speak English, 2 nickels in his pocket, able to work his way up in different restaurants and hone his talent and become what I believe, and he was in many magazines as being one of the better chefs around in the Shore area, and then to have the wherewithal to start his own restaurant and then buy the property that he did. I was in awe. And I didn't say this to my dad, but I was. He was my mentor. And, knowing, even being that young, knowing that, how does he even know how to do any of this? And my dad was just, he was a doer. So he did those things. And the point I'm getting to is he passed away way too young. I was way too young. My sister was way too young. But so you're saying to yourself, John, why are you grateful? So I'm grateful for the fact that even though he passed away, I've always felt from the time that he passed, that he was always with me, always over my shoulder, always guiding me. And listen, I talk to him still till today, in my head, getting me through a lot of different situations, helping me through what I think was a bunch of good decisions that I've made through my life. It's what got me here, right? So just being grateful that I feel that my dad has always been with me, even though he passed away so young. And again, just being grateful for that. I've made a lot of what I believe are good decisions over my lifetime, but I've made a lot of bad decisions over my lifetime. And I'm grateful for both. I'm grateful for the fact that I can think, I can surmise, I can, have a thought process to get me through things, good or bad. And when I do make bad decisions, to right them, to figure out, this wasn't right. We got to fix this. Listen, perfect example, year 2000, I started a restaurant, and it didn't go well. It turned into the bakery, turned into Harvest House Bakery. Well, it was actually a restaurant and bakery. But the restaurant was not a good decision for me. I hated the business my whole life. I got back into it because we had the opportunity. Our restaurant came, the person that was leasing it at the time decided not to lease it anymore. So again, it was just what I thought was a perfect situation. But it was a bad decision. I knew it was a bad decision when I made it, but I was able to fix it. And I was able to not only fix it, but to thrive from the decision. When I closed the restaurant, the bakery just blew up, and it did so well. I had to buy a bigger building over in Farmingdale. So I'm super grateful for the decisions, both good and bad, that I've made over my lifetime. And I attribute that somewhat to my dad. Again, I question. And listen, some of you I might be losing some of you and saying, John, what are you talking about? Your dad's gone. You're talking to yourself. Maybe I am. But in my head, I was getting the advice from him. And it helped me. So I'm grateful for it. So, again, I'm not a person that believes in the afterlife. I don't know what the hell I believe, but I'm not a person that really believes in the afterlife. But, listen, I believe that my father was on my shoulder most of my life and helping me and guiding me. So, again, I'm super grateful for it. I'm also grateful for, again, those bad decisions have made really bad situations, right? So I'll give you a perfect example, right? My dad passed away. And some of you might know this, some of you might not. Me and him had a business together. So he had the Italian restaurant. Me and him had a distribution business. We imported and exported Italian stuff, olive oils, pasta, so on and so forth. But because I was disconnected from the restaurant, because I really didn't care about it, and my dad was he was over it. He was exhausted. I didn't realize he stopped paying basically all of his bills. Life insurance, health insurance, purveyors. He had a hard time the last couple of years of him being alive. So let's call it from 90 to 93, had hard times. And I didn't realize that our little business was basically financing a lot of his life. So long story short, when he passed away, I found all this out. And I realized that my mom was almost close to bankruptcy because, after my father passed, we had to pay funeral costs, all of that stuff. I knew he didn't have life insurance because he had let that go. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't know. I thought he did have life insurance. And I started calling all the policies that were in his file cabinet, and every one of them. No, it no longer has this. Hasn't had this insurance for X amount of months. Hadn't had this insurance for X amount of years, and I was angry. I was pissed off. I was like, Dad, how could you have done this to us? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So this is a gratitude video. So how was I grateful? Well, I was grateful because I was able to get us out of that. And that's not being pompous. That was because of him. Because of who he made me before he passed away, let's say. Because he made me so, let's call it tenacious, I didn't know how to fail. I didn't know how to say, we're done. It wasn't in me. I was like, okay, this is a problem. We're going to fix it. My mom went to all of our professionals, our accountant, our attorney, professional business people that were close to my friend. They all said the same thing. Carla, it's a lost cause. You owe too much money. You're upside down. Bankrupt everything and just move on with your life. And I'm like, what? Meanwhile, I got my father on my shoulder saying, yeah, no. Because I knew what we had. I knew, and we've gone, and made that property that my mom owned, worth millions of dollars. They wanted us to sell everything. The property that my dad owned, I can remember like yesterday, they wanted us to sell it for $350,000. And I knew, listen, 93 was not a great time, real estate wise. And I knew that was not the right decision. So getting to the point of me being grateful, my mom, looks at me. Listen, my sister had just had a kid. She is trying to start her life. Her husband is starting a new chiropractic career. My sister couldn't help, nor should she have helped. I mean, she's starting her whole life. So my mom looks at me and is like, what are we going to do? Should we do that? Should we go bankrupt? I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely not. And, we didn't. And we scrimped and scraped and negotiated all the deals, the mortgages, the deals with the purveyors. We negotiated them all out. And we were able to come out of there. It took years. But we were able to come out of that whole. And not only whole, but thriving. So why am I thankful? Well, when your mother looks at a 23-year-old kid, I was, and basically puts all her eggs in my basket and says, okay, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll do it. I'm grateful for that because those moments is what made me. Honestly, I didn't know what the frick I was doing, but I knew I could get us out of it. But what I'm trying to get to is that I'm grateful for so many things. She could have turned around and said, no, we're just going to sell everything, pay everybody back, John, and go bankrupt, and we'll start over. And that would have been devastating, not only to her, but to me. It would have been a defeat. So I'm grateful for those times, even though they sucked. It sucked. It was dark. It was not. It was, they say it's darkest before the dawn. Yeah, it was pitch black. But again, we came through it. My mother believed in me. It's something that I will never forget. And we got out of it. So again, I'm super grateful. Right. I'm grateful for, a little year and a half ago, getting stage 3 rectal anal cancer. That's not good. Being told to go and get your life affairs in order. Now, any of you that know me or don't know me, I don't know. It was a shitstorm. I had the bakery, I had the ice cream store, I had multiple different properties. It was a whirlwind that I was in. I'm like, how in God's name am I going? My family is going to be screwed. This is 9 times worse than when my dad passed away at 49. I'm sitting at 49. I was told basically on my 49th birthday that I have stage 3 cancer and I'm not supposed to be here in a year. And I'm saying, now I was fortunate, right? Because my dad didn't get the time to strategize and to figure things out. I had a time window. And I took that time window and ran with it. Sold the bakery, contracted to sell the ice cream store, sold the property. I wanted a war chest for my family in the bank, and I did it. I did it in less than 2 years while going through the radiation, the chemotherapy, the pills, the bullshit. And then it was, I believe, the week I was going in the hospital. And listen, I didn't realize how bad it was going to be. No, they tried telling me, but I'm me. I'm operation. I'll be fine. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Yeah, no. I'll tell you that story in a little bit. But so the day I was supposed to go in the hospital, we were closing on, the bakery had been sold the year before, and the property was sold to someone else. And we were signing the documents the day before I went into the hospital. Talk about amazing. Grateful. What other words could you use but being grateful? How does that even happen? And I'll tell you how it happens. You get something in your head and you believe in it, and it will happen. I'm a true believer of the things that you speak, the things that you pinpoint down, that you concentrate on. It's, it's what happens. That's it. What you focus on most of the time, what you speak, it will happen. If you believe it and you work towards it, it will happen. So, here I am, the day I'm going into the hospital, the day before, signing a multi-million-dollar deal to sell the building. Grateful. Now, going in for the operation, and first of all, it was COVID, right? So my family had to drop me off at the front door. There's no walking you to your room and, oh, honey, I love you, and none of that. I'm in the streets of New York. I had to get out of the car, and there's, it's New York. People are beeping behind you, so I had to tell everybody I loved them and walk into the building, walk me down, put gown, the whole 9 yards. Next thing you know, I'm in the operating room 27 hours. 27 hours. Now, you don't realize you're under for 27 hours. You don't realize that because you're in anesthesia. But in those 27 hours, I had some, excuse my language, fucked up dreams. Really messed up dreams. Dreams that still haunt me till today. I honestly didn't know if I was alive, if I had died, and I'm not in a dream, but I'm in purgatory because of what's going on around me. And I'm like, how did I get here? And was I that horrible that I'm in hell and not in heaven? Listen to me. Not good stuff. Not good stuff. Meanwhile, learning after my operation that I went through traumatic things, transfusion after transfusion, and it just, it wasn't good. It was touch and go at the end of the operation. So understanding after all of that, why I was having such effed up dreams, puts a little perspective on it. And again, grateful, right? Who goes through that and has, those type of dreams? And then, next thing I know, my wife is at the end of the bed, but I don't know if is she there really? Am I back? Is she looking over me because I'm dead? Like, what the fuck is going on? Long story short, coming out of it, and then being in the hospital for weeks, not being able to walk. And you don't realize you stay in bed for even a week. And you don't realize how fast the ability to walk goes away. So I was in bed for a couple of weeks, and then trying to walk. Again, I had to learn to walk. So not only do I have gigantic holes in the front of me and the back of me because of how they had to take this massive, and I say massive, I mean my hands, you can see it was a basketball-sized tumor, right? And maybe I'll put it on there. I don't know. It's kind of disgusting. I have pictures of it, believe it or not. But it's this huge mass that they had to take out of me. So why it was 27 hours, they had to go in the front of me, and then open the back of me to get part of it out of the front and part of it out of the back of me. But listen, I think within a day or two of the operation, those beautiful words that you are in remission and we got all of it and there is none left, no more cancer, those words are, that's a miracle. That's gratitude right there. Going through all of the rehab and the physical therapy and occupational therapy to try to get me back to normal was months. And again, just being grateful to be able to go through all that and still be here. Because remember, my dad passed away at 49. My whole life after my dad passed away, believe it or not, I didn't think I was going to live past 49. And then to get the diagnosis of stage 3 cancer on my 49th birthday? Come on, how am I possibly going to still be here? But listen, it's 2 years later and I'm here. There's no other word than grateful, right? So after that, I decided to start doing this. And I was toying with the YouTube thing before my cancer and all, but I decided that I really wanted to do it for multiple reasons. And don't take this the wrong way, because I love you guys. But I wanted to do it mainly for me, because I wanted to have record of the things that I've accomplished and the things that, my thought process of being in business. And I wanted my kids to have that, if I'm here or not. So God forbid I pass early, hopefully not. I want my kids to be able to look back at these videos and say, oh, okay, Daddy would have done this, or he would have done that, or these are his experiences through his business career. I would have paid any amount of money to have that from my dad. If my dad was able to make cooking videos and tutorials and just videos about business, and I could look at them now, it would be priceless. So that is the main reason that I do this. The secondary and second important, but still important reason I do this is because I absolutely love helping people in business. I think it is a tremendous thing to be in business for yourself. I think it's a tremendous thing to be have the ability of knowing your finances and how to better yourself. So I absolutely love the fact of helping people, with their finances and making them not worry by knowing how easy it is to invest, how easy it is to buy stocks, how easy it is that if you have a thought, you can start a business. These are exciting things to me. So I absolutely love doing it. And I want as many people to learn from it as possible. So, no matter how many subscribers I have, it's 114, by the way, right now. And that to me, that number to me is, although to most YouTubers, that's a joke. 114 subscribers, it's a joke. To me, that's amazing, because to get 114 subscribers, you have to have been seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people, because that's the ratio. The amount of people that actually click on that subscribe button is probably 1 in 10 that watch your videos, right? So, by the way, this is a perfect time. Hit that subscribe button, pound that bell, because that'll tell you when I'm going to do another video. And not to be funny, but I can't tell you how important that is to me, that you hit that subscribe button. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear week to week, just please hit the subscribe button. It means a tremendous amount to me. 114 subscribers to me is amazing that many people want to tune in to hear what I have to say weekly. I'm super, super grateful for that. And I can have 114 or 114,000, and I'm blown away by either. I'll be really blown away by 114,000, but 114 people saying that, yeah, I watch it every week, John. That I can't tell you how appreciative I am for that. So I just wanted to say thank you. So the next thing I wanted to basically express that I'm grateful for, and this, I cannot believe this is a controversial topic. It just blows me away, is I am super grateful for being in this country. And the fact that that can almost get somebody canceled by saying that you love America and you think this is one of the best countries in the world, that's sickening to me. I said earlier in this video that I've traveled the world, and I have. I'm super grateful for that. The world is beautiful, but nothing compares to the red, white, and blue of this United States. Do I think we're screwed up? Yes. Do I think both sides are so polarized they can't get their heads out of their ass? Yes. Do I think that there's atrocities that are happening in this country that shouldn't? Absolutely. Do I think there's inequalities in this country that are horrible? Yes. Do I think that we are one of the best nations in the world? There's not even a doubt, not even a sliver of a doubt that I am super grateful to live in one of, if not the best country in the world. The freedom, the capitalism, the landscape, everything is absolutely amazing. And I am super grateful. Listen, I don't know if any of you ever watched Gary Vee. He's a New Jersey guy. His parents have a wine store up in Livingston. A super successful internet guy. I'm sure you've heard of him. The reason I bring him up is because Gary Vee always says, and I could get this number wrong, but I think it's 4 trillion to 1 that you're going to be a human being. That you should be so grateful because it's 4 trillion to 1 that you could even be a human being. So you take that 4 trillion to 1 to be a human being, and then extrapolate out the fact that you're sitting on the soil of the United States of America. The luck is mind-blowing. You could be one of those 4 trillion people, 4 trillion to 1 people that live in a slum in the middle of the desert with no water, flies, horrendousness around you. That being said, I'm still grateful to be on the earth, to be honest. I am super grateful to be on the earth in this country in one of what I believe is the best times in our history to be alive. So I am super grateful for that. I don't think enough people that live in the United States are grateful enough. And I think more people like me that talk about it on platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, I think those tides will turn in the next coming years. I think it will come back to people realizing how grateful they should be and how lucky they are if they live in the United States. Listen to me. Do you think all those people trying to get into our country think it's a shithole? No. Are there people rushing into other parts of the country, knocking down the doors like they do to get into our country? No. So, with that being said, with people wanting to come into our country so drastically that they would put their lives in danger, swim through fast-running rivers, over barbed wire fences, past attack dogs and people with machine guns to come in here, I'm sorry. They're right. They want to be here because it is one of the best countries in the world. So I am super grateful to be part of that. Right? Let me tell you what started this whole me on this rant of being grateful. First of all, I'm always grateful. I don't say it enough. I don't say it out loud enough. And I wanted to do that today. I'm a firm believer of the words we speak are what and who we are, which is kind of scary because I say some stupid effing things sometimes. But that being said, I believe the words we speak are important. So, I want to always say I'm grateful, and that's why I'm putting it out there. But lately, my mom, who, if you haven't figured out, is a big part of my world, she's not doing so great, right? So she has COPD, which is a lung thing. She has lung issues. She had cancer a long time ago. She has half a left lung. So it's hard for her to breathe. And she has congestive heart failure. Again, not a great thing to have. And she's 80 years old. So all those things are going against her. And it put her in the hospital a couple weeks ago. And she's been back and forth between the rehab and the hospital. And to be 100% honest with you, I didn't think she was going to be here with us very long. So she's actually starting to come out of it. And she's getting stronger. She's eating every day. And I'm hoping to have her home within a week. So looking at that, again, what else can you say except for being grateful? So, I wanted to put it out there. And, I make my videos every week, but I'm going through this now, this season. I'm going through it now with my mom and, her possibly not being here and then, getting strong enough and possibly coming home. And whatever happens, again, my mom is a terrific person. She's lived a great life. I love her to absolute death. And I hope she comes home, she gets stronger, and we could still have me, my kids, my sister, and her kids can still have some really great years with my mom. But it made me think how grateful I am and what a wonderful life that I've lived up till now. 52, phenomenal life, phenomenal. Am I a rock star? No. Do I have 100,000 subscribers and I'm some YouTube phenomenon? No. Am I a bazillionaire? No. Am I super grateful because of what I have is tremendous and the things that I've been able to accomplish are awesome and the family and friends that I have around me are insanely awesome? Yeah. So I hope you take this video and you reflect and you write down maybe the things that you're grateful for. And to never forget that no matter what we go through in life, there are a million reasons to be grateful. No matter how hard your life right now is, no matter what horrible things you're going through, my view has always been, with almost 8 billion people on this earth, somebody, somewhere, is going through way worse than what I'm going through now. And that always puts a perspective on my gratefulness and my gratitude to life and to being here. So that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't, please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And as usual, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. This one, no need to be funny. I'm just glad you're here with me. And I know these blooper things at the end, a lot of times I make them funny and well, I'm not trying to be super serious, but I am super, super, super grateful that you show up every week and you have the ability and the kindness to watch me. So thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.